Hello everyone, my name is Jesse and welcome back to another video. Today we have one that I have actually put off for a long time. I don't know why, I guess I just got busy, there were other videos to record, but I am finally here dedicating some time to it. So today we're going to do another deck. So I have built two decks in the past. I'll leave links to both of those down below in the description, as well as a tutorial video on how to play the actual Bakugan game. So if you have no idea how to play or really what the mechanics or how the game works, you can check that out and then come back to this video. May help you understand a little bit more about how deck building works. So all that will be a link in the description that you can check out. But for now, we're going to be focusing on my new deck called Phoenix Rising. So a while ago, you may have seen a review video on Gaga Oris. So I bought it a long time ago specifically to make this deck, and this deck is so fun. Before moving further into today's video, I want to introduce today's sponsor, Damiensaber. Damiensaber produces high-quality lightsabers that are incredibly customizable. You can check out their website down below in this video's description. Damiensaber sent me one of their lightsabers, and I was absolutely blown away with the quality metal hilt, different RGB lighting effects, the sound quality, and app connectivity. I received the XenoPixel version 3, which contains 16 different sound fonts, Bluetooth connectivity, motion control, a heavy dueling blade, smooth swinging effects, 18 functions, and other lighting effects, and more. Now I've got like this almost pale pink color. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but really cool color. And I can do that again by pointing at the ground. And then...
The Dark Lord Order.
Super cool. If you'd like to check out that lightsaber and more, head on over to Damiensaber's website. Again, link will be in the description. Now, onto today's video. So I'm going to pick a gate card here just because we'll go over the gate cards here in just a minute, but I'm going to actually move the rest of the cards over and we're going to get into each Bakugan individually, how they play. So first off, we're going to use Infinity Dragonoid here. Go ahead and pop him open. All right, so this is Infinity Dragonoid. This is probably my favorite Bakugan to brawl with. I have hit some absolutely insane shots with this guy, and I'll try and pull up one here so that you can see it that I did on a brawl night a while back using this Bakugan. The spin shots with this one are just immaculate. We have a Pyrus Infinity Dragonoid at 680 Gs right there. I try and keep all my decks around a 500 to 700 range just for making it easy to brawl with, and there's room for a lot of gimmicks and stuff. Next up, we have one that may shock some of you. I don't know how many of you use Storm Skyrus in a deck, but this is my Storm Skyrus here, Ventus at 500 Gs. So this one is it's a more low G-powered Bakugan, and it's very similar to my Light in the Darkness deck where my Reaper had a very low G count, but this is really the essence of the deck, and you'll see why. So we're going to put Skyrus off to the side. And then now here is the main attraction. This is Gaga Oris, a Bakutech Bakugan. If you haven't seen the review, you should check that out. It'll be down below in the link as well. This is also a Pyrus Bakugan, despite it being blue. Bakutech just does this. And Gaga Oris here is... So I can find the Gs. Should be on the side here somewhere. Right there. Gaga Oris is 660 Gs, so a little bit weaker than my Infinity Dragonoid of all things, but nonetheless stupid powerful. So, as you can see here, this is the Bakugan that make up the deck. It is 2 Pyrus Bakugan and 1 Ventus Bakugan, hence the name Phoenix Rising. I feel like, Phoenix is always associated with birds. Skyrus has always looked like a phoenix. The Infinity Dragonoid Bakugan model looks kind of like a phoenix. It's got a beak, and it looks like it has some pretty broad wings. And then Gaga Oris over there looks like a phoenix. Fire and all, everything like that. Just super, super cool Bakugan. It almost looks like Ho-Oh from Pokemon, if that makes sense. Some of you might understand what I mean. But that's the deck, and now we're going to get into the style of playing. So I want to put these guys off in the background here for a little bit. And we're going to go over the gate cards first. So for this deck in particular, we're using these 3 gate cards. So there's gold, silver, and copper. Most of these, as you can see, are themed around Skyrus. Skyrus is really the main centerpiece of this deck, surprisingly, not Gagaurus. So first off, we have the character card Skyrus, which is really only good for her. It's got 150 Gs to her, but it says if Skyrus loses this battle, its owner may take all ability cards that were played in this battle, including his opponents, and add them to his unused pile. And I will get more in detail when we get to the ability cards, but this card is super important. Up next, we have Tornado Alley, which is a silver gate card, also featuring Skyrus, but this one doesn't have anything because it's silver, but it has great bonuses for Ventus and Pyrus, and then a little bit of Aquas, but usually that doesn't come up, but Pyrus and Ventus benefit a lot from this card. Lastly, we have Needle's Eye, which states that the Bakugan with the lowest G power wins this battle, and this is a great card because it gives nothing to Ventus, and it only gives 50 to Pyrus. So pretty much if I'm battling any Bakugan that's in the same vicinity as me, I pretty much will lose. And it's great because if I have the lowest G power, I win the battle. And this is awesome for Skyrus. I can place this card down and roll my Storm Skyrus onto it, and I pretty much will always win that fight. It's a fantastic trap card, and one of my favorites to play. But that being said, I do have a lot of different ability cards to play with. I picked 2 of each card, so depending on how I play, sometimes I'll play where each player gets 2 of each color, sometimes just 1 of each color, so it really all depends. For this, I just picked all of them so that you guys can see them. And of course, if you want to copy this deck and you don't have all these cards, maybe you have, 1 of each or something like that, or similar cards, and it'll help benefit you the same way. But let's go ahead and look at the 2 blue ones first. So first up, we have Blaze. I have played this deck a lot, and I have pretty much worked out all the different kinks to it and what's wrong and what can be broken on it. And Blaze helps a lot. It gives 80 G power to my Pyrus Bakugan and 50 to my Ventus. It's really meant for my Pyrus Bakugan, but it basically just gives G power to my Gagaurus or Infinity Dragonoid. The next card I have is Pushing Wind. It says play during a battle if you have a Bakugan standing on another gate card. Your Bakugan gets G power based on that. A good thing about this card is if my Skyrus is set up on my Needle's Eye card, all I have to do is roll another Bakugan, and I can play this card to help benefit one of my Pyrus Bakugan. One big issue I found in this deck is that the Pyrus Bakugan I have typically are the main forefront of the fight, so while Skyrus is on the back burner as a trap card, these 2 are typically attacking opponents. What I've noticed is that these 2 will usually get quickly defeated by an opponent unless I do something about it, and that card right there really aids in that. Both of those blue cards, in fact, have really changed the tide in a battle, so super useful there. So next up we have Firewind, and it states play after you roll and stand a Ventus or Pyrus Bakugan. You may move any standing Bakugan to any gate card. Really love this card because it's basically a backup in case that I miss my Needle's Eye card. So if I roll Storm Skyrus and completely miss that card, if I can make it to my next turn with Skyrus without a fight and roll my next Pyrus Bakugan, I can also move Skyrus just over to the next card. It's super useful. And then we have Unexpected Guest. Again, this goes in with Pyrus just being the forefront, ready to attack, taking the initiative. It says, play after your opponent puts a gate card in the arena. Put one of your used Pyrus Bakugan on that gate card. So it kind of gives me a 1-up. I'm able to go ahead and put a Bakugan on there ready to fight. So I typically use Firewind. I think Firewind has been more useful, but Unexpected Guest is definitely a great way to throw off an opponent. Next, we have all of our green ability cards, and this one is Bright Torch. It says, play during a battle. Your Chaos or Pyrus Bakugan may use the highlighted gate card bonus instead of their normal gate card attribute bonus this battle. Again, like I said, as I've realized, these Pyrus Bakugan are the forefront of the fight, and I want to make sure they are prepared for anything, so being able to take a different highlighted gate card bonus instead of the regular is super important, especially when I'm on an opponent's card. And then the other card we have here is Pyrus. It says play before you roll a Pyrus Bakugan. All Bakugan have their G power, their printed G power reduced to 0 in any battle this turn. This one, I have used it a lot, but I haven't had, I've used it in my games, but not really had too many opportunities to use it. Like it's been there and it's kind of just like an extra card I have. But what I found is that this one is kind of a gamble. If I know I'm going to land on my card and I know my card has high pyrus bonus, it's great. However, with any other cards, like on my opponents, if I roll on an enemy's gate card, it's a total gamble. But what I like so much about this particular deck is that this card right here, so let's say I roll Skyrus on this one instead. So instead of putting it on Needle's Eye, I put Skyrus on this specific card. What's great about this card is I can use all my ability cards that I have at my disposal, and then I can use Skyrus on this card and gain all my ability cards back. So if I'm in a battle and something really bad goes wrong, or I'm having to use a lot of ability cards to win the game, if I can put Skyrus on this card and she loses, which is pretty high because she's at 500 Gs, I get all my ability cards back and my opponent's. It's a super strong card. Another thing with this card I've had happen is sometimes I'm on this card with Skyrus and I use up all my ability cards, but actually end up winning the brawl. And it happens. I won the brawl though, so it's like, it is what it is. But it's a super cool card, and just it's versatile in that aspect. So like I was saying, the deck really revolves around Skyrus, which is why it's called Phoenix Rising, because it's such a low G-powered Bakugan compared to my other decks. You know, the only other Bakugan in all the other decks I built, the lowest is 490, so 500 really isn't that off. And so just having this Bakugan like kind of come out of the ashes as a weak Bakugan to really dominate the entire field is pretty fun. And just having the Pyrus be just straight up attackers is pretty great. It distracts my enemies from my Skyrus, and then all of a sudden they accidentally or end up targeting Skyrus, and boom, they're trapped. So it's really cool. It's a pretty strategic deck, and I will say I have lost a lot with it until I figured out exactly what the deck needs. It is one of those where you have to make sure you make the right decisions in every scenario. It's definitely not a deck for everyone. Yeah, I've got tons of different like images and photos of me playing. I think I posted them all on Instagram, but it's just one of my more favorite decks. And it's had plenty of play testing. I've tried the deck at least 6 times. It's usually my go-to deck when I brawl. I hand my other friends like the other decks I've built, which are all pretty equal to this one in some ways, and it's just a good time. And yeah, guys, that was the Phoenix Rising deck. Let me know down below, what do you think about this deck? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's gimmicky? Do you think it's almost cheaty or annoying? I really want your thoughts and opinions on this. What other cards do you think I could trade in for some of these to maybe make the deck work better? I want to know what you guys think. And what other decks you want to see? Do you want me to build like a mono deck? You want me to try other Bakugan? I'd really love some opinions and thoughts on this. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And that is the end of this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, and of course subscribe for more awesome content. My name is Jesse, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.